As the days go by since 50-year-old Stephanie Hollingsworth disappeared, her brother says they know time is not on their side. How are you guys feeling?
Hopeful. We just want to find something,
Chad Chitwood says they're working to get drones involved in the search as they mark their 9th day in a command post outside the Walmart on Goldenrod Road. That's where she was last seen, September 25th.
We're going through all the right motions to, try to get that next clue, that next crumb, something to help.
Belle Isle police say as of Wednesday morning, they've received roughly 60 tips about the missing mother of 3. Here's what they'll share with us. Surveillance video showing Hollingsworth at that Walmart where they say she bought a bottle of vodka. A description of her car, a 2000 champagne-colored Chevy Tahoe. Once she left the Walmart in that car, they're not sure where she went.
She did leave northbound in the parking lot, but at that point, we didn't have surveillance camera beyond that. We are looking at every camera, every bit of surveillance, every bit of technology, looking for that car.
Belle Isle police say Orlando police and Edgewater police, as well as the sheriff's office and FDLE, are all helping them in this search. Hadass Brown reporting, WESH 2 News.
All right, so take a look at your screen here. Here's another picture of Hollingsworth. She stands about 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs around 115 pounds. She was last seen driving a champagne color Chevy Tahoe with a Florida tag Y50XUR.
Okay, guys. Yeah, I know. Last couple of days I've gone on pretty early. For me, I'm usually a late night guy. And I still am. I'm actually in my PJs. You can't see them, but I'm in my PJs. Yeah, I woke up and I saw someone posted this. One of my Florida friends posted this, and so I clicked on it and read it, and it's been like 14 days. Stephanie Hollingsworth, she has been missing from the Orlando area since September 25th. Sorry, I'm still waking up. I got my coffee. But let me say hello to everybody first real quick. Yes, I totally set this thing for 11:45 p.m. And it's weird because for some reason it wouldn't let me share the thumbnail unless I set a time prior. I was just gonna title it and go live, but it wouldn't let me do that. Put the thumbnail that I wanted to put, which was a picture of Stephanie. So we got Karsten, Marissa Anderson, Jeanette S., Haley Douglas. Yeah, daytime crowds, different names. Welcome, Haley Douglas, all the way from England. That's awesome. I appreciate you logging on. Nancy Eileen, Steph Johns or Jones, I don't know. Angela Dawn, how we doing? Lori A. Did I say BL? Hi, BL. So this is one of those. Hey, Maria. This is a weird case from what I read so far. Okay. Hey, Annie, what's up? It's really early for Annie right now. Jeez. I read this and I actually just sent it to Annie too, because I think I knew once she'd read it, for obvious reasons, it's intriguing because there's a number of possibilities here. What's hitting me most recently is, why haven't they found the truck yet? It's a 2000 Chevy Tahoe, champagne colored. And by the picture that they showed, it looked pretty like in decent condition. But again, it's a 2000 Chevy Tahoe, right? It's 2020. It's a 20-year-old car. But it looked like it was in really good condition. Now, there's a number of reasons, because I see this woman and she's extremely attractive. And she is 52 years old and she's very beautiful. And according to the article that I read, she was, according to her husband, she was very excited about a new job that she got as a yoga instructor. Now, from what I understand, she has been an at-home mom for years. She has 3 teenagers, and they are 15, 17, and 21. And she stayed home the last 15 years to raise them. So this is kind of weird, because what she does, she leaves her house, she gets in her car, she takes her wallet with her purse, but leaves her cell phone behind, right? So, but the thing is everybody's real quick, and I want to put the brakes on that before they even start. Okay, everyone's real quick to start looking at the husband. We have a golden opportunity here, people. We have a very golden opportunity right now. Me going live at before noon to talk about this case. Let's try to approach this case before jumping to that. Let's try to be aware if we're trying to find anything wrong with what the husband says. And I'll be honest with you, the one thing that I notice, it's the thing that I catch all the time. He does speak of her in a past tense at some point. I'm not real crazy about that when a husband does that. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the things that he says kind of coincide with something else that could have happened. There's a lot of possibilities here. The fact that they can't find her truck intrigues me a lot, because that's a hard thing to hide. It's a big car. So I'm thinking about that right now a lot. But I was actually just telling Annie, we didn't speak much on it, but I was saying that the fact that she left her cell phone behind, and it's not like there's the possibility that it ran out of battery or it broke. And one key factor here is the fact that when she did leave the house, well, the last place that she was seen was she took out $20 cash out of an ATM and then went into a Walmart and bought a bottle of vodka. I guess they sell vodka at the Walmarts in Orlando. They don't do that here. It's probably a good thing. But she bought a bottle of vodka. I could not tell. I have to look at that footage of her walking. Again, Annie makes a really good point in the chat here. It's quite possible she does not want to be tracked and she took off, because that is it's looking that way. At least, even if somebody tried to make it look that way, so far they're doing a pretty good job of it. And to be honest, Stephanie is with that behavior, it seems like she's possibly doing that too. But her husband is adamant in saying that that's not like her to just disappear. I mean, could it be that she got sick and tired of the same day in, day out routine? I think it's important. I want to be fair, and I think it's important that we to fully understand and speculate on this, to have an idea of what their marriage was like. Because if she wasn't happy, there's quite the possibility that she took off and didn't want to be there anymore. Now, this is probably nothing. It's probably nothing, but it did cross my mind that she drives a 2000 Chevy Tahoe, right? She drives a 2000 and it's 2020. And you could see that I mean, I'm not an expert. I'm not a plastic surgeon, but very beautiful woman, 52 years old. She's had some work done. I've seen women who've had work done. I grew up in South Florida. I worked on Fisher Island as a concierge. I know what women who have had work done on their face look like, and she looks like she's had some work done. And I'm not knocking her for that. I'm not knocking anybody for having, dude, if you can afford it and you want to look the way you want to look, dude, do it. And I don't even find it unattractive. I'm just saying it's there. there's no disputing that. So, that gives me the indication that they were doing okay financially to a certain degree. But are willing to make certain sacrifices. And it just seems like maybe just budget the money. Annie, I hear you. I hear you. Yes, Nancy Eileen, she's a yoga instructor. And that's the thing is, I mean, she was really, you could tell. I mean, I think they said she weighed 115 pounds, something like that. She kept in good shape. She was very concerned with her appearance. She was very concerned with this. And I don't think there's nothing strange about that. But her husband, and I want to show him some respect here. Please, I apologize. I just started reading this, and you guys know me. I like to share this stuff with you, and you guys have my natural reaction to it along with you guys who are first hearing it too. That's how I like to do these things. Scott Hollingsworth, he is age 50. And I'll just go ahead and read what it says here, okay? He described his wife of 25 years, so they've been married 25 years, as a loving wife and devoted mother to their 3 teenage sons, ages 15, 17, and 21, who stayed at home for the last 15 years to raise them. He said their 2 youngest were in school the day she disappeared, but said their eldest son was home from college and taking classes remotely. The family didn't have any special plans that day, and he and his son hadn't realized exactly when she left the house, but believe it, maybe it had been around 1 to 1:30 p.m. He said she had her purse and wallet, but had left her cell phone behind. It wasn't unlike her to be running around leaving the phone behind, he said. That's very important to know. So he's dismissing, he's shutting down the possibility, if he can, as best as he can, that she just took off. So that to me says a lot about him as a husband. He's saying, no way. Something's wrong here. That's what he's hinting at without trying to sound like he's in a panic. That's what it sounds like to me. So Scott Hollingsworth pointed out that it was uncharacteristic for his wife to be away for such a long period of time without any contact with anyone. Stephanie has never gone away, he says. She was home every night. She would never want to be away from her family. That is why I feel something happened beyond her control at a vulnerable moment. I feel she is in danger, he said. Stephanie is very active in the women's ministry, and many of the young girls looked up to her, Scott said, describing her as a person with all heart that people were just drawn to. Now, I don't know about any of you guys, but this reminds me a little bit of the Missy Beavers. You guys remember Missy Beavers? This is starting to sound a little bit familiar to that. I'm not trying to compare the cases too much, but again, we have a victim like Missy Beavers, or like Stephanie here, who reminds me of Missy Beavers, the way Suzanne Morphew did to a certain degree. This is, yeah. So, you've got this woman who's older. She takes, because let me tell you, I work in a fitness club myself, and working in a fitness club, you see the women like this. There's quite a few. And some are even yoga instructors. And they're very serious and focused about their lifestyle. And so people are drawn to that. Men are drawn to it, obviously, for obvious reasons, but women are also drawn to it out of envy and I don't mean envy in a bad way. They see her as an example and they say, I want to be like you. This is a valuable thing to someone. But as it says here, she was seen on camera buying a bottle of vodka. Now, I wonder, of course, the thought comes to my mind when she pulls she pulls money out of the ATM, is the $20 to buy the vodka with cash. I mean, if she's at Walmart, why can't she pay for the vodka with her card? So why wouldn't she pay with her card? And if she was trying to cover her tracks and not use her card, then why would she take money out of the ATM? So and $20, $20. Now, in my day, living in Florida, if I went to the liquor store to buy booze and I went to the ATM, the money from the ATM was for something else. Just being honest with you. But the thing is it's only $20. That's not really going to cover much, at least not these days. Back in my day, it would, but very little. So we don't know if she has any other substance abuse issues at all that he's not mentioning here. But he says that she has battled alcohol addiction most of her life. And for the last few months, her drinking seemed to escalate recently. And this is what her husband says. And she does struggle with depression and anxiety. So that's always something to consider. When somebody is struggling with depression and anxiety and they're drinking vodka and they're drinking it regularly, they're not struggling with it. They're suffering from it. So that's in my experience, in my personal experience. So that to me says a lot about this entire case. But it bugs me that we can't find the truck. That's the only thing that concerns me here, because if we're looking at somebody who is battling these demons, yet is still a very beautiful woman, has a loving family. She has raised her kids directly without daycare or a nanny or any of these things. She was a hands-on mother and wife for 25 years. For the last 15, staying home with her kids. So if she did something harmful to herself, she was giving up a lot, and she was risking giving up the respect eternally of the family that she has put so much time and effort towards caring for. So regardless of how depressed and anxious she was and how much of a drunk she was, I think that merits consideration and merits her getting the benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, not to be ruled out as a possibility. That's just my opinion. But I want to quote this part here. Scott says Stephanie has had a lifetime dealing with anxieties and depression, just dealing with life and using alcohol as a way to escape. She gave everything she had to everyone, but she had internal battles that were real, he said. I want to make this public and make people understand that it is so hard to get people to talk about this, since many feel it is taboo. The video shows she did buy some alcohol, and I have no idea why she did that, and I want people to stay focused on finding her. Now, we could sit here and we can go, well, he just said that her drinking's been escalated for the last few months. So to say he has no idea why she went and bought alcohol, he's contradicting his words and blah, blah, blah. No. I'm going to shut that down right now. We're talking about a guy who is talking about his missing wife. He's flustered. I'm reading his words. I'm not hearing them. And I'm seeing a guy who is basically saying that the way that I'm taking that is he has no idea why it has anything to do with her disappearance. He has no way of connecting it to her disappearance. He wants to be focused on finding her. And I think his reasons behind saying those words in that manner was, it doesn't matter if she's alive or dead, suicide, whatever. I don't give a shit. I want to be focused on the task in locating her. So that's how I'm taking that. He goes on to say she always carried so much guilt and shame about this, but every day when she woke up, it was a new start. And I never carried anything on into the next day, he said. She said recently she came. Sorry about that. I lost my place, guys. He said recently she became certified to be a yoga instructor, and she was looking forward to her new venture and starting on a new path of healing. She was really excited about getting back into work and doing what she loved, said Scott, who works as a general contractor. She was very excited about that. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Okay. I know my man Scott works as a general contractor. I know my man Barry Morphew works as a contractor. It's a very, very common job. So let's not get our heads start spinning. This guy is focused on finding her. This guy is focused on finding his wife right now until I have a reason to think otherwise. Now, wait a minute. Did I say her age wrong? I think I said her age wrong. Either that or, yeah, no, this article contradicted itself. So there's that. Says here later this month, Stephanie will turn 51. And in the same article, it says she's 52 right now. So, yeah. So anyway, sorry about that. Not my fault. But at least I caught it. Anyway, if I'm reading this guy's words, it's easy for me to say, but I'm not one of those people that feels you should rule out any possibility of the spouse being involved. I've never said that, and I'll never say that. I'm just not quick to do it, and I have a lot of reasons why I'm not quick to do that here just yet. And I wanted to take an opportunity, besides actually bringing attention to this case, take an opportunity of getting to it a little early, and then let's see, because I tend to do that myself, and then I shove it out of my head because I feel like it's limiting my possibilities of coming up with other theories in understanding this case. But I'm going to look over chat a little bit real quick. So people know more about this case. I don't know that much about their family life, their married life. I'd like to know more, but only in the sense that it would help me understand this better and hopefully understand what possibly happened. But I don't see a husband as, yeah, she's running away. She's not running away with $20. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to happen. Very, very good point there, BL. Yeah, but and Kayla's cracking jokes. These contractors always have missing wives. It's an underground ring, and they're keeping them in a cave until they are reprogrammed and behave correctly. Oh, man. Okay, so thank you, Caleb, for that. Now, yeah, this has a lot of weird ins and outs, man. The leaving the cell phone behind, which Scott is very, very adamant about saying that it's not an unlikely occurrence. She does that often, you know, and a lot of people do that. Excuse me. A lot of people leave their cell phone behind if they're just going to the store. She knows she needs her wallet. She knows she needs her keys. She knows, I mean, and if she had been drinking heavily, it's possible she was already drinking and then went to go get more. So there is a drunk driving type scenario that's possible as well. She could have, I don't know. There's also, and again, this is just a possibility, but again, we don't know much about their marriage. We don't know if she was getting certain attention from someone in her congregation because she's a churchgoer. That does happen. Not to disrespect anybody who does go to church, but regular people go to church. Regular people have impulses. Regular people tend to act on them from time to time. So it's irresponsible to rule out the possibility that someone that she was active with, a male, even a female, who knows, that she went to go see them. She went to pick up a bottle of vodka so they have cocktails. And something happened on the way. Or that other person had something to do with it. There's a ridiculous amount of possibilities here, folks. A ridiculous amount. And it's baffling. But I'm going to go ahead and rule out the runaway thing. That's, yeah. There's nothing from what I'm hearing about this that indicates to me that she was trying to run away, unless she was in immediate danger from the time that she picked up that bottle of vodka and got into her car. Somewhere after that, then she could have been running from something or someone, but she wasn't trying to run away from her life. You don't go to the ATM and pull out $20 if you're trying to do that. $20 doesn't even buy you 19 these days. So what's up, the foo? Yeah, I'm going to miss you. We're all going to miss you. Like, what are you doing? Are you going like off the grid? You're going to like just be like internet, TV, no more. Is that what you're doing? Yeah. Mary Lopez, that's another possibility. Maybe a dealer tried to carjack her. But if that's the case, oh, yeah. I mean, that's possible. Carjacker could have done something to her and then taking the car. I mean, but here's the thing: who's carjacking a 2000 Tahoe? You know what I'm saying? Like, no chop shop's gonna give anybody any money for that thing. That's not. I mean, think about that. I mean, a chop shop's only going to be interested in taking what they can sell. You know. Well, yeah, burn the car, but burn the car where, man? We're not talking about this. Isn't, but fuck Colorado. This is Orlando, Florida. This is a major city. This is where Disney World is. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's not, yeah. There's not a whole lot of remote places that somebody close enough is gonna see smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like, Orlando's like super duper populated, man. I mean, I guess in the outskirts maybe of Orlando, maybe there's, sure, that could happen. I mean, I I mean, it depends on the crackhead, Caleb. It depends on the crackhead. Some crackheads know that even though they're a crackhead, they have enough sense to know that they're not going to get shit for a 2000 Tahoe. I mean, you got to know somebody who's willing to buy it, right? You got to know somebody who's willing to buy it. There's got to be a crackhead's got to have some kind of demand to pull off a job like that and then like kill someone over it. I don't know. I just to just bring it down to it was a crackhead. I'm not buying that at all. I think if there was some sort of foul play here, which I believe there is, the question is who's responsible, who had motive, and what did they do with her? We need to find these things out. And I'm sure the police are doing a diligent job of trying to figure this out. But right now, it's just a missing persons case, and they have to just focus as though it is what it is, just a missing persons case. And I don't mean to word it like just a missing persons case. I mean it like it's only a missing persons case. It's only a missing persons case, nothing else. Therefore, their focus and only focus right now is finding Stephanie with the hopes that she's okay. So what's up, Save Robbie? Yeah, that's Karsten. See, my gut tells me, I mean, it's possible she didn't need $20 to run away, right? What if she met somebody and took off? What if she just wanted to get the hell away from her life? What if these last 15 years of being at home with her kids and 25 years of being married was just too much? It got to a point where it was like, I can't do this another second. I'm over it. See, that's another possibility. Accident and she hasn't been found yet is a possibility. I'm leaning towards that, to a certain degree. I'm definitely leaning more towards foul play. But the accident, again, man, we're talking about Orlando, Florida. If there was an accident, she was going somewhere away from home. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, she didn't live out in the Everglades. You know what I mean? No, yeah. Mary Lou, that's funny that you typed that as soon as I said it. Now, she didn't live out in the Everglades, man. I mean, nobody lives in the Everglades. It's all swamp. It's all it is. It's all swamp. Have you ever been out to the Everglades? I've only been out to the Everglades because I, like an idiot, went with somebody who was like, we're going to go catch alligators. And I was like, okay. I mean, who does that? But the Everglades is definitely a good place to get rid of a body. It has been known to be a place to do that. But no, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, the running away thing. It's possible that she met a dude who had money. You know, it's possible that some guy was like, you don't ever have to worry about anything ever again. All you got to do is come live with me. You know, I'll get you a new identity. Never have to worry about anything ever again. Never have to work again. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. Is it likely that happened? Hell no. No, that's not. That's not likely. You know, that's what some women fantasize about. But how many women would actually act on it, though? Depending on how crappy your marriage is. But would you run away from 3 kids, 2 of them who aren't even adults yet? I mean, would you do that? Ones that you've dedicated your entire existence to? This woman's whole life seemed to have been fitness, self-improvement, and mothering and wifing. Very, very simple, cookie cutter, American suburbanized life. Right? That's the last situation on the surface that you would want to disappear from. I'm interested in hearing audio for that Walmart video. That would be nice. She was seen getting into her car and leaving from the Walmart. I'm with you on that. I mean, I don't know, man. She looks like this lady that comes to my club, and she's married and they have a son, and they're like really well off, right? I have this joke with them. They're really well off, you know. And the kid is 16, but he's like the coolest, smartest, funniest kid. And I got a lot of respect for him because he was overweight, and he's 16, right? He's overweight, and then he just like started going to the gym on his own terms, put in the work, and now he's just a stud. He's yeah, it's great. It's great to see him whenever I see him, because you know he's got a big smile on his face, and he's going to work. He's going to put in the work. He's already got the results that he wanted. Now he's just happy to maintain it. And that's a nice thing to see when you work in a place like that. And we have an inside joke because he would tell me, my dad's thinking, he's 16. There's nothing wrong with bragging a little bit. He's like, my dad's thinking of buying this Ferrari. Check it out. And I'm like, and I'm like, hey, if your dad doesn't spend enough time with you, let him know that he could put me on his payroll, and I'll just kind of fill in. And, I'll just, I'll eat your food in your fridge with you and watch TV and stuff and play video games and whatever, and I'll be a rent-a-dad, right? And he's just laughing. And he's like, yeah, totally. So whenever he walks into the club, I'm like, hey, rent-a-son, and, and then, he tells me about his day, he shoots the shit, he's a cool kid. But his mom comes to the club too, and she reminds me a lot of what this Stephanie is being described as. And they have a very, very great relationship, her with their teenage son. So it's easy for me to go in my mind and compare these people that I've never met or seen them with around each other, to compare them to that. That's the first place my mind goes. Maybe inaccurate, but it's a positive place. So I really, truly hope that Stephanie is found safely, and she's returned to her family, and I really, really hope that these kids get their mom back, and this husband Scott gets his wife back. That's the thing, and I don't know. I don't know if people are gonna, if YouTubers are gonna, jump all over this thing or not. I don't know. But I think it merits coverage. I think it merits coverage because this seems like a nice lady, and her husband is very candid about her being imperfect. But this information and the way that he describes her is information that could be vital to understanding what possibly could have happened to her. If someone likes to drink, you could possibly narrow down who she would be likely to hang out with if she decided to go see someone. Possibly. That's a stretch, but possibly. There's a lot of different reasons why it merits pointing out that, and maybe he was just trying to get on Front Street with it. Maybe he was just trying to get in front of it. The footage is released of the Walmart footage where she's buying a bottle of vodka, and he just wants to get it out of the way and be like, yes, my wife likes to drink, and she struggled with depression and anxiety, but let's not focus on that, because I don't want our minds made up about anything that could merely just be a possibility. I want to focus on finding my wife, and I want to focus on having the mindset of being in a positive place that she's going to be found safely and brought home to us. So that's just the way that I'm choosing to look at it right now. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping by doing this a little early, we can just as a social experiment and exercise. I want to try to use my channel to try to get people to let's really make an effort to not let ourselves get to the husband and the statistics of the husband in scenarios like this. The statistics of the husband in a scenario like this are merely just an aspect, just another possibility. You know, that is no more relevant, in my opinion, than looking at the fact that she bought a bottle of vodka as we're going to base every theory on that, on whatever that happened with that vodka. I don't want to do that. The vodka could be completely irrelevant to her disappearance. It could just be the last thing she was seen buying. So I want to stay open to all possibilities with this one, and I really, want to go to a positive place, genuinely, with the majority of everyone that listens to this channel, and see if that positivity can kind of stir up good things, such as sound theories, and just putting out something positive that will hopefully, if you believe in something more than this, hopefully will result in her coming home safely. So that's where I want to go with this, kicking it off. It's already been 2 weeks that this poor woman has been missing, and there's not a trace of her yet. See, twisted. And that's what happens. I don't even really blame anybody for it. Your mind just goes there because of the statistics. So that's fair to go statistically. Right. Sure. That's fair for your mind to go there. My mind went there too. What I'm doing is simply making a conscious effort to catch it early and put it in a place that's no more relevant than any of the other possibilities that could have happened to this woman. That's all I'm saying. Let's catch it early, right? Try to keep an open mind on this one. That's all. And absolutely, if you're the praying type, I absolutely encourage you to pray for this woman. Absolutely. Pray for her family. Pray for her husband. Pray for her kids. Pray for her friends. Pray for her congregation. I mean, this woman seemed to have a lot of people in her life that it's not like she was a recluse. And I'm not speaking her in a past tense in that way. I'm saying prior to her being missing and attending church and living her life, she was not reclusive. I mean, Mrs. R&B, I get what you're saying, but I see. I'm less quick. I'm less quick to jump. That again, that's a possibility, but I mean, that's not. I'm less quick to put that for out there. I mean, that's not. I'm thinking they're worried sick. Yeah, I wish I knew more details, Mary Lopez. That's a good question. Did hubby recognize guy in video, or did they show her with anyone? Not I didn't read anything like that. I think all they saw was her getting into her truck. That's all I know. Yeah, I this is a baffler, man. It really is. JLC, I think that's actually a good idea. You're thinking of starting your own channel on and doing video game reviews, and you're a grandma, so it doesn't pay well. But I feel like that would be very successful. I feel like grandmas who want to like spoil their kids who are gamers and get closer to them are going to want to hear a grandma review video games. That's just in theory. I don't know. I don't know anything about having a successful YouTube channel, but I mean, the only way to do it is to do it, and I would recommend doing it more organized, than I do. But yeah, I think you would totally kick ass. Well, Soul Sister, see, I said that I talked about this before. You're saying interesting that husband would put it out there for all to see and know that she was struggling with alcohol. True. But the thing is we would have seen, see that right there creates doubt to, as far as looking at the husband. I don't want to look at the husband because I can explain why that isn't that interesting, because she was seen buying the alcohol and it was released to the public in the surveillance of Walmart. So she was seen buying the alcohol. So I feel like there's a possibility, even a likelihood, that he was just kind of trying to get in front of that. He knew people were going to say something about it. He knew people were going to go online. I mean, if this guy watches the news at all, he knows that people like me, people worse than me, get a hold of these things and go on YouTube and go on their channels, and then they start tearing these people apart. They start judging the hell out of the woman. They start judging the hell out of the man. They start judging their marriage before they know anything about it. I mean, this stuff happens all the time, every time. So this guy is probably just like, before you all, that's probably the context. He was like, before you all were, you start talking shit about my wife drinking, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat. Yes, she likes to drink. She's been drinking for a while. Yes, she has a history of depression and anxiety. So that it would be irresponsible for him to not share that when trying to get any type of leads. Somebody could report that they saw a woman wandering around and crying, and it looks suspicious. And then boom, right there, you got a hit on the last place that she was. Anybody who fits her description, she's walking around crying. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout. She struggles with depression and anxiety, and she's been drinking. He wants his wife found. That would be irresponsible to not even share that, in my opinion. It sucks, man. When you go public and you go to the press to help you in getting the word out for your missing spouse, well, you're giving up. The price of that is a lot of your privacy. A lot of that is just you gotta be willing to give up a few give up a couple of blankets. That's just how that is. Well, I'll tell you right now, only real fucked up people get drunk and go to AA meetings. At least in theory, man. I don't know. I was never a meeting guy. I remember I went to a meeting once and I was like, just listening to everybody. And the observation I got out of this, and this is not to trash meetings, I'm just saying this is for me and me only. This is the dynamic that I found myself in an AA meeting. And if whatever works for you to stop drinking because drinking affects your life in a negative way regularly, well, then do it. That's cool. I'm not trying to trash anybody for that. But when I went to an AA meeting, what I saw were a lot of people who have been sober for a long time, and good for them. But what they did was they kicked the crutch of alcohol and replaced it with another crutch, which was talking about being an alcoholic with a bunch of other people who are talking about drinking, because think about it. Whenever you have an AA sponsor, they say, hey, I'm going to be your sponsor. If you feel like drinking, get to a meeting immediately. Just get to a meeting, because all you got to do, if you live in a major city and even a small town, there's at least one place, that's how big AA is. That's how effective it is. So you could just, you just go on Google and be like, where is there an AA meeting right now? You might have to drive 30 miles, but there might be one right down the street. So, but see, that was the thing for me. I knew that my drinking, my reasons for drinking, that wasn't going to help my reasons for drinking. That wasn't going to help me kick my reasons for drinking. And you guys know, I still drink from time to time. I'll binge for a day or two, and then I'll chill out for a couple months, but that's just because I like to drink to have fun. Sometimes that doesn't happen. But I like to be able to do that without letting it take over my life. I like the freedom of being able to go, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to enjoy alcohol responsibly for me. I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm not going to allow it to be this thing that destroys my life. But when you're in an AA meeting, it's basically no matter what, if you take a drink, your life is fucked. That's the vibe that comes off. And I just couldn't relate to that. And I didn't want to be bound to having to go and talk about, it's just a bunch of people venting, and that's fine. That's fine. But for me, venting is merely a word designed to excuse complaining. And I prefer to manage my own shit differently, But that's funny, because one could say that I come up here and vent. So maybe I need a little self-awareness myself. Who knows? We all do, I guess. But yeah, group therapy works for you. That's awesome. That's awesome. But I don't see somebody who decided to down a bottle of vodka, at least, because we don't know how much she drank before she bought that bottle of vodka. I don't see somebody pulling off a disappearance with $20 neatly. That doesn't, yeah. And if there was an AA meeting and she was going to an AA meeting, I don't think she was going to an AA meeting after buying a bottle of vodka. Maybe before buying a bottle of vodka, but not after buying a bottle of vodka. I don't see that happening. And I don't see anybody not reporting the fact that she was at an AA meeting. Yeah, it's Alcoholics Anonymous, sure. But these are circumstances that call for anybody who's seen anything anywhere. I don't give a shit where you report it and let them know that that's the last place you saw them so that you can aid in finding them. But again, remember, this is a woman in her early 50s. According to that article, I have not confirmed because it contradicts what age she is. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to compliment this woman and say that she's going on 51, the way it says in the ladder. So we'll say that she is 50 going on 51, and I do not see this woman with all of these people that love her, in her life. I don't see her just up and disappearing, and I don't see her doing it neatly after buying a bottle of vodka. So yeah, I'm going to go with the husband's instinct here. I'm going to go with Scott's instincts and say that, and I want to give him the benefit of the doubt as well. I want to give him that because he has the most useful information to share. Does he not? I would prefer to look at this man as a valuable source of information that would be helpful in finding and locating Stephanie and bringing her home. And what he says provides us with a lot of information, does it not? So I mean, for 2 weeks, Mary Lopez, I mean, look, you guys saw me get hammered drunk, right? And then for some reason, and I was drinking wine, not vodka, right? But you saw me get hammered drunk, and I went live, and I had stuff to say, but I was too hammered to get the thoughts out, and I was, and it was embarrassing. I made a fool out of myself, right? And I took it down. But the thing is I got on here the next day and I was like, you know what? I showed my ass a little bit, thanks for not unsubscribing, and that's all it took to do that. So I don't see a woman who's that proud of herself and that, there's a lot of confidence in a woman like this. Someone who teaches yoga, someone who interacts with a lot of different people. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Hiding for 2 weeks in shame. No, man. You sober up and then you realize you did something dumb, and then worst case scenario, you call your husband that you've been married to for 25 years and say, "Hey, honey, I fucked up." That's the luxury of having a spouse for 25 years. Is that if you've got that type of dynamic to where you live together and live the entire you live one life together for the past 25 years. If you have that kind of bond, then one of the smallest little luxuries in that bond is being able to call your spouse after you went on a bender and go, "Honey, I fucked up, just let me drink some water and get to sleep and we'll talk about it later, but I fucked up. I need you to come get me." No cell phone, but I mean, she could go somewhere. Hotel rooms don't have cell phones, or not cell phones, but landlines, people around you don't have a cell phone. This is an attractive woman. She's not going to ask somebody for a cell phone and be like, somebody's going to go, yes, of course. How can I help? She's not just some crackhead running around. Maybe she's a drunk. Maybe, but somebody, a lot of people will be like, no, fuck this lady, but somebody's going to be like, how can I can help you. I can help you. You shouldn't be walking around the streets. You're a beautiful lady. You shouldn't be walking around the streets hammered drunk like this. You could get hurt. Well, Twisted, that's the thing, is there's no need to ping the phone because the phone was left at the house. So there's no phone to ping. But I'm interested to know what text messages were sent on that cell phone. I'm interested to know what websites she was visiting. I'm interested to know any of these things, which I'm sure by now, after 2 weeks, law enforcement who is investigating this case has looked into these things. That's possible, Mary Lopez. I'm not dismissing that for 1 second. Online dating is quite a possibility. Online dating is quite the possibility. A lot of times, I mean, again, we don't know what their marriage was like. Maybe she felt she was doing so much to enhance her physical appearance just so her husband would show her more attention, and it wasn't happening. And she thought she sought elsewhere. That's quite possible. And I wouldn't even judge her for it. I don't judge any married people who go through this. It happens. It just happens. Sometimes people grow apart, but the life that they've created together is worth holding on to, and then they stay together as partners. And then one partner will say, hey, they're going to do what they want. I just don't want to know about it. That does happen. As long as I don't know about it, we've been married 25 years. But I don't see, that's the thing, is here we are, we're speculating on their personal life and on their marriage. The possibilities of what their marriage was like it's endless. They're endless. She could have met a psycho killer. Yeah. I mean, this is what's mind-boggling about it. I can't get over the fact that they can't find the truck. That's bugging the hell out of me. Soul Sister, that's so funny. Yeah, I hear you. That's what I was thinking too, Soul Sister. Actually, this previous comment of yours. Right here. She could have been loaded before she left home, and that is why she might have left her phone. Right. I'm thinking, man, like the way that it looks, it's completely set up like she was making a quick trip in and out. Going to the store, coming back home. Right? That's totally the way it comes off. Got my wallet, got my keys. It's all I need. Got to re-up on the booze. Got to stop at the ATM, get $20. Reason why she picked up $20 out of the ATM, possibilities again, endless. Could have been like somebody else said earlier in chat. She could have just been going to grab $20 because some kid, one of her 3 kids, was like, "Mom, I need $20. You got $20?" Kid could have been like, "Hey, I'm going out to eat with my friends. Do you have money?" "Yeah, I got money." "Well, here, take $20 just in case." Who knows? All kinds of different things could have happened. All kinds of reasons why somebody goes to the ATM and they need to grab quick cash. Maybe she's a lottery player. Maybe you can only buy lottery tickets with cash, at least in Tennessee. So, and I think in Florida too, actually. So she probably wanted to buy lottery tickets. I mean, all kinds of reasons why she went to that ATM and pulled $20 out first before buying a bottle of vodka at Walmart. Right. Cash on hand with teenagers, Mary Lopez. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, man. I hope a lot of people look into this case. I hope this case gets the attention. I hope this case gets the attention that the Suzanne Morphew case has gotten, that the Gannon Stock case got, hopefully with the opposite results. I really but here's the problem. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get YouTubers and they're going to go on here and then they're going to paint this man into being a guilty man right off the bat, because for the reason being, because these stories are more exciting when there is a grim end to them. And that's just a fact. But I don't like that. I don't like that. So I'm urging anyone who follows this case to please look at it with an open mind and try to be objective and try to give the people that all we know for now, as of now, is that she was surrounded by people that love her and are missing her very much right now. So I think it's extremely important that we keep that in mind when we explore all of these different possibilities of what could have happened to her. And hopefully the results are that she's brought home safe. I think it's important. I really do. I think this is a great opportunity. This case, catching it at this point, and I'm hoping that you guys will look at it this way. And I'm hoping if you end up in someone else's chat who's trying to paint it to be another way, I hope that you'll look with your own objective way of questioning things and not just take that as your opinion because it's someone else's. So when you're in chats of these other creators that will do this, I'm hoping that you'll, speak up. I'm hoping that you'll do it respectfully, and I hope that you'll use your own way of thinking objectively to come up with possibilities and create doubt for theories that are just really, really presumptuous and actually pretty malicious, because that's going to happen a lot if this case ends up getting the kind of attention that these other cases have gotten. Yeah, I mean, those two are my other favorite channels. To be perfectly honest, they are. Um, so I just, yeah. I mean, the thing is, a creator can do whatever they want, you know. Just if you're gonna listen to it, all I'm asking is that you allow yourself to think for yourself. That's all. Question things. Question things that are clearly questionable. That's all I'm saying. You know, I'm not saying to trash any other creators. Um, yeah, I'm really at this point right now. The thing is, what's really positive is that they have the phone, right? The phone was left behind. They have the phone. There's no telling what they're going to find on that phone. So that phone is actually a big plus. They can't find the vehicle right now, but having the phone, there's no telling what's on that phone. So hopefully they'll find something that will lead to a possible whereabouts of Stephanie. Hey, Tracy L. All right, guys, I'm going to call it. I may go live again late tonight in about 12 hours. I may do that. I don't know. But I will try to keep you guys updated on anything that I find out about this case. And I love you guys a lot, and I appreciate you listening. And we will do this again very